Welcome to the Fall Sports Review as we talk men's and women's golf with head coach Greg Nikolai. And Coach, women's golf this past fall, 4th out of 9 in the NAC Championships. Thoughts on the way the team performed that weekend?
Overall, I thought they did pretty well. It was, to be honest, I kind of figured that's about where we would be. If we played really well, we could get to third and get close to second, but there were some good teams out there, and I knew that we didn't quite have all the horsepower that we've had in a couple of past years to compete at that level. Gabby played extremely well. She was our best player that weekend, and then Amy and Molly came in close behind that. But we didn't have that player like we've had in past years when we won, where we had a couple of people competing for the conference championship. And Gabby played good. She made a couple of, she played well overall and made a few errors coming down the stretch that put her out of conference, all conference. But overall, being rookie of the year or freshman of the year was a great start for her career. So looking forward to seeing what else she can do going forward the next 3 years.
Look at the roster too. Half of it of freshman status, so it was certainly a young team.
Correct.
Did it take a little while, that learning curve, that transition going from the prep level to the collegian level?
Oh,
absolutely. Did you see that?
Absolutely, because a couple of the other freshmen really had not competed much or had played an 18-hole round of golf in competition. So from that level, we had a very inexperienced crew coming in, and I had to build them into something to at least got them to the level they were at. If they continue with that same level of progression, I think we're in good shape, in addition to the incoming freshmen that we have right now.
Was there a point in the season where you kind of look and went, okay, that's kind of the turning point, that's when things started to click and you started to see, great strides in that progress?
Well, early on with a couple of the incoming freshmen, before school even started, we had them really doing more private instruction with me than on-course playing to get them to the level of understanding that they needed and how to swing the golf club, and because they were raw pieces of clay, and get them molded into understanding a little bit more about the game itself. And they made great strides. They really did, and I look forward to what they can do going forward, because if they continue that, they're going to be very complimentary to Gabby and the rest of the team moving forward, and they have tremendously high ceilings. We got to get them to that point where they can do it, because they make very good athletic golf swings now, whereas in August when they first got here, they didn't, and they've actually done a great improvement since in that time frame. So
you mentioned and you talked in length about Gabby Flacco and what she did this season as the co-NAC Freshman of the Year. Did you kind of have that anticipation that she would have the kind of impact that she had this past fall, or was that kind of a surprise at how much of an impact she had so quickly?
Well, I thought she would, because I knew that she could play, and I have been recruiting one of her high school teammates as well, who's a year behind her, and I know how good that player is. But I knew she could play, and she had a skill set that could play. We're trying to work on some swing changes with her to get her even further along, and part of that is the mental side. It's the physical side as well, because she's pretty slightly built, and we need to get her a little bit stronger and in the weight room, etc., when we can. And she's recovering from a shoulder injury right now, but overall, I think she had a great season, and I expect her to do better next year, truthfully. And even in the spring, I would expect her to make some improvements. She's going to have some time off here in the winter, and the weather in Colorado is capable of playing golf and practicing during this semester break. So hopefully she'll have an opportunity to do some of that and work on some of the things that we've discussed.
So to sum up the women's side of things, the future's very bright.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I mean, we're only losing one of the 6 on the team. And she actually has another semester of eligibility available if she continues her education here, and she might do that. And then we've got a couple of incoming freshmen already signed up for next fall. So looking forward to that continued growth and getting a few more players onto the roster, obviously. So.
Talk men's golf now, and right now in the middle of the pack in the NAC championships with rounds 3 and 4 coming up in the month of April. That's got to be tough. All of a sudden you go from competing rounds 1 and 2 in the fall, and you have, all winter. And,
correct.
I mean, the players are going to be different, or could be different come April than they were, say, in October.
Absolutely.
So how do you go about, making that, progress or preparation from fall to spring, and what happens between rounds 2 and 3 to, kind of keep the focus where it needs to be?
Well, I gave them, a mandatory time off here in the month of late October, November, and now into early December. But half of my top 6 are going down to Arizona right after semester break.
Nice.
To go play golf, and they will probably play 8 or 10 rounds of golf while they're down there in about a 6-7 day period. One of my guys is from Phoenix, so he'll be down there all 6 weeks, which will be nice.
Yeah. Okay.
And another one of my players, his parents live in Florida, so he will probably go play some golf. So overall, I think they will be fine, and then we will start spring practice in March, and we'll do some indoor training, but at the facility that we do it at, it's both indoor hitting areas with chipping and putting, along with a physical workout facility tied to it. So we will be able to do that with both teams, and we'll start that first week of March, and we'll do that for a couple of weeks, and then we'll try to get outside as early as we can. And Missing Links right across the street from us has some covered heated bays that are usable, and I hit balls yesterday outside, so it wasn't that bad. So
were you alone?
I was alone.
Oh.
Yes, I was the only one out there, but you could hit golf balls outside. I did it because I'm traveling down to Birmingham this week and going to be recruiting and playing a little bit of golf down there, so might as well get the juices going and encourage the players to do the same and hit balls and start working for the future if we can.
Team-wise, you like the progress you saw from the start to the end of the fall?
Absolutely. I mean, we've got 6 guys that can truly play, and it's a function of them showing up every day to play. We ended up breaking the previous school record twice in the course of the season. I think the first weekend of the year they broke the previous school record by 4 shots, and then the week leading into the conference championship they broke that by 16. So the goal is there. They have the talent level to shoot low numbers, and by taking 20 shots off the school record in a fall season is a great start. We didn't necessarily compete the way we wanted to conference championship weekend, but everybody has bad days. That's part of golf, unfortunately, and it puts us in a tough spot to win conference, but we're still going to try. But we definitely want to move up into the top. We want to try to get to second place if we can, and show Aurora and Edgewood that we can compete with them and hang with them.
Is it fair to label this team as a nice blend of youth and experience?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've got 2 freshmen that competed and helped out. We'll be losing 2 of our top 6 at graduation, but we've still got 3 juniors on the team, and we got a sophomore competing, and there's a couple of freshmen in the wings, in addition to what I'm working on from a recruiting standpoint that I think we will be in a pretty good shape replacing. I'm not saying a even replacement, but I think future replacements that will be competitive with them. So
I guess to wrap it up, as far as your seniors go, Sam Schlosser, Andrew Otto, Adam Kern, what have they meant to the success of this program?
Well, Sam was one of the first kids I recruited, and he's been here all 4 years. And having been a NAC champion, etc., he's critical to helping recruit, and something we can play off of. Andrew has set and been part of several team and individual records as well. Both very good players in their own right. Adam came on after playing football for a couple years and couldn't go back due to some injuries, and he's a good kid that I enjoy having on the team, and he's competed with us and shows up for practice. Great attitude, and we'll miss them all because they've all been critical to the team in various ways. And, more importantly, they're all good people. And that's part of what our mission is here, is to have good people and turn them out and graduate them. So,
As always, Coach, thanks a lot for your time, for the information, and
You're welcome.
enjoy Birmingham.
I will. It'll be fun. Hopefully we'll get some recruits out of it. So.